batteries in the industry, would you please welcome Jamie Young.
Okay, thank you very much for the very kind intro. Straight off the bat, also I'd really like to thank Melbourne and the team of Master Electricians for inviting LG Chem along, so thank you very much. Just quickly about myself, so again, based out of Melbourne, lovely little family of two, but very passionate about renewable energy efficiency. Just built a new house in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, where we've just put on a large 4.5 kilowatt solar system and one of our battery systems as well. So I'll go a little bit more detail about the systems. Also put a bit of a Richmond Tigers logo there. First time in 35 years, so in the finals, I'm pretty excited about that, so I'll just make sure everyone's aware. Okay, so a bit of a rough agenda here, so I'll go through an introduction just to LG Chem very quickly, talk about different lithium battery types, different applications with lithium batteries, so it's not just for ESS, there's the EV markets coming, IT space as well. Residential for ESS systems in Australia and New Zealand. We've got off-grid systems which are with lithium batteries, which are really starting to come ahead. Commercial applications, grid scale, and we can talk about future opportunities as well. So just quickly on the LG group, there's actually 69 different businesses in the LG group, the largest being LG Electronics, and LG Chem's the third largest in this group. So LG Chem's a chemical company. Overall, we've got close to 250,000 employees, and we're quite large. So the LG Chem in the business, we're actually L in the LG. So G for Gold Star, L for Lucky Chemical. It's over 70 years old. We turn over around about $17 billion US. What we're seeing though, so as of last year, about $17 billion was around about 17 to 20% in lithium battery sales. But what we're seeing is a massive shift in our business and the global economy requiring lithium batteries. So we're heavily investing over 40% of our R&D into further lithium battery developments. So the lithium battery products that we manufacture, so Mike was mentioning before, there's different cylindrical cell batteries like Tesla and Panasonic manufacture. We also manufacture those battery cells. We make prismatic cells as well for laptops and different IT appliances. But we also make special polymer pouch design cells as well, so it's patented technology. So for different applications, we have different battery cells. Many people wouldn't have heard of LG Chem, but we're predominantly being a chemical company, but in the lithium space for the last 22 years. But really we've been an OEM manufacturer, so we're a partner business and we partner with a whole range of different global players. So you'll see a lot of, obviously, Volkswagen, Mercedes, BMW, etc. in the hybrid and EV space. That's where we partner with these companies, and most of where our lithium cells go into. IT space as well, Apple, etc. A few of their models over the years, our battery cells have been in there. The iPhone 9 that's coming, it'll be a special L-shaped battery in the cell as well, which will be exclusively LG Chem, is what we're hearing. So coming back to the ESS market, so there's four main sectors that we're going to see moving ahead. Definitely residential, as Mike mentioned, it has been what everyone's talking about for the last two to 3 years in Australia. In New Zealand, it's a growing market as well. There's a few retailers there starting to come into this space. We've got the integration part of the market, so this is smaller commercials up to say 65 kilowatt hours or 50 kilowatt hours of storage. C&I space, we're classing that from 60 to really 500 kilowatt hours of storage, and our containerised solutions, which is grid scale, so megawatt hour plus size on battery solutions. Now I've just added a couple of slides in here because Malcolm was mentioning yesterday, you were talking about quality of actual products, risk to your business and to your consumers. So there is international battery standards that are out globally in the market now. So there's two key ones, an American one which is a UL 1973 and the international European one which is an IEC 6619. So these are the two key standards. You may have heard there's the Australian draft standards in place, ASNZ draft standards in place at the moment, which there's been a lot of debate about and submissions, over 3,000 submissions coming back just saying it's not fair and it's not the right solution. So that's been redrafted now, and hopefully it's going to start to reference some of these key international standards. In particular, the IEC 62619 is the main one. I've pressed the wrong button. There we go. So these international tests, there's a whole range of different tests that they comply to. So there's on the next slide here, we'd like to, in the test, we'll overcharge the batteries, we heat them to 130 degrees, we do nail gun tests, so physically slamming nail guns into the battery cells, crushing them, etc. So to comply to the IEC standards or the UL, in any of these cases, the battery shouldn't catch fire or explode. So that's a cell level, you'll see that's individual cells. Then we can bring all these individual cells together into a module or into a battery pack. We actually set the products on fire, drop them in water, etc. So we don't want any explosions or anything dangerous happening. So this is very important, I guess, from an energy storage system. You put these batteries in your garage or in your house. You don't want these actually products catching on fire. So if you do comply to these international standards, there hasn't been any cases of batteries having these issues. And again, another really important thing, I guess, is a battery management system. So making sure the actual battery cells are controlled properly, measuring the temperature, cell imbalance, making sure some cells aren't high voltage, low voltage, becoming unbalanced, and also the battery chemistry that you're using behind there. So we've got a bit of limited time, so I'll just skim over that. So what is a residential on-grid energy storage system? So there's a couple of different applications. The most typical one that you'll see out in the market would be a hybrid inverter, which you see in the middle there, directly connected to a battery and then solar panels as well. So this is one inverter that's controlling solar panels and batteries all into one. So this is called a hybrid system. That's wired directly into your switchboard, and some of the hybrid inverters have the option to have an emergency power supply or a backup circuit wired into that unit as well. So the grid fails, the system will keep your critical appliances running. How the system operates, you'll see down the bottom is a little CT or an energy meter. So that will be sitting in your switchboard, and that's measuring the energy flow coming in and out of the property. That's where it makes its logic decisions whether to charge or discharge the batteries. So pretty simple concept. There's a bit of a diagram here. So this is my system on Friday, I think it was. So basically, the night before my battery is fully discharged, this is the monitoring that you can get from these hybrid inverters. So the previous night, I was drawing energy from the grid in the red that you see. The sun's starting to come up. The blue section down below, so that's the solar system just self-supplying the loads in the house. And as soon as it turns green, that's actual excess energy, and that's going to be going directly into the batteries. Later at night, you'll see the sun starts to come down. Now, I live in a pretty shaded area, so trees are not really helping the situation. But in the evening, that's when we came home, the loads are starting to pop up, and the battery in the purple is supplying majority of that load there. So that's the concept to the system. And you'll see down the bottom there's a bit of a graph just showing the battery charged up and then slowly charging down. Another application which is becoming, I guess, more and more popular, so that in Australia alone, I think there's pushing 1.8 million solar systems now, somewhere around that kind of number. So retrofitting, adding a battery system to an existing PV system. So what we call that is AC coupling. So you may have, the red inverter, an existing solar system sitting there. What we'll do is add into a battery inverter and a battery together. So basically it's going to do the same thing. It's got that energy meter, it's reading the energy flow from the existing solar system. It'll decide to charge or discharge. Pretty simple. So we have solutions in that market there. The Tesla Powerwall, which a lot of people are aware of, that's the concept that they're using. There is also AC and DC coupling combinations. So say they've got an existing, and there's a lot of 1 or 1.5 kilowatt PV systems out in the market. But people may, it's pointless on putting on a battery there because it's not enough energy to generate to supply your nighttime loads. So people are adding in an additional hybrid system, so you could potentially add another 6 or 7 kilowatts of solar, connecting that to the hybrid inverter and also adding batteries. So this is becoming more and more popular as well, combining an existing system with a new and making full use of your roof. Financial benefits and the whole feasibility about these systems. So levelised cost of electricity is a pretty interesting way of selling energy storage systems. So here's a bit of an example. You mentioned before pricing ranging from 20 to 45 cents in South Australia. As an average, and in New Zealand you mentioned it's around 30 cents at the moment per kilowatt hour. So we work off the basis that normal customers using 18 kilowatt hours per day. Around about 10 kilowatt hours of that is at night time. They're working off a 30 cents per kilowatt hour rate. That's how much they're buying energy off the grid right now. And we predict that the cost of electricity is going to increase year on year by 5%. So in basically 10 years' time, the average cost per kilowatt hour would be 46 cents. If they were to invest into an energy storage system, it will cost them around about $15,000. That'll give them a, say, 6 kilowatt solar array up on the roof. We'll give them an 8.8 kilowatt hour battery fully installed. So that system there, basically the generation over a 10-year period would produce 70,000 kilowatt hours, and that's producing it by a further, would deduct about 20% off that. So what we can do there is the cost of the system, so 15 grand divided by 70,000 kilowatt hours comes out to 21 cents per kilowatt hour. So we're using the resources of the battery at night time, 8.8 kilowatt hours, 10 kilowatt hours we can use during the day, and that's every part of the energy they're generating. We're kind of generating and using, we're fixing it at around 21 cents per kilowatt hour. Okay? So that's very big savings. On top of that, it's increasing the property value. You've got an asset there that's yours. You can take it with you if you want to move property, or you can leave it there and sell the house for a little bit more. You've got the added benefit of blackout protection. So in different parts of the country, that's a big issue now. In South Australia, parts of Victoria soon. And obviously it's an environmental benefit. The residential storage uptake in the market, so because of those reasons I just mentioned before, that's one reason. There's a lot of hype out there at the moment, which is great. Last year, you'll see for the full year, that was the amount of installations. So it was around about 7,000 systems. The first half of the year is the next graph here. So this data is from Sunwiz, so it's done a whole range of reporting. So already in the first half of this year, installations have exceeded last year. So we expect that to be about 2.5 to 3 times as it continues to grow. And in the Australian market, where major market share, I guess, would be in New South Wales at 21% and Queensland 18%, and Victoria closely behind on 12%. From the products that are going out into the market, so LG Chem, we've got a whole range of different inverter partners, so it gives us a lot of flexibility, and we've stuck with a wholesale distribution model, not going direct to the market. So that sees us as the market share leader still last year and this year with our business model, as you can see in the round graphs there. If you need any more of this information, there's a Sunwiz website as well you can look at to find out more about the market and the opportunities. The other market which we're seeing, so this is obviously off-grid solar systems have been around for decades and decades. Typically it's been lead-acid solutions out in the market, but now we're seeing a shift because lithium prices have really dropped over the last few years, and how quickly we can charge and discharge them is giving a lot of benefits to off-grid sites. So for an example, we've got a Selectronic off-grid system. You'll have a backup generator. We've got our standard residential batteries, which you see in the bottom left, called our Resus. So you can wire them up to 18 kilowatt hours of storage. If you want a larger system, we've also got rack-mounted battery solutions, which you can scale up to 65 kilowatt hours in 6.5 kilowatt hour increments. So there's a growing amount of interest in the off-grid space. Predominantly the main drivers for lithium batteries in the off-grid space. So 10 years warranty is standard with ours and a lot of the lithium battery manufacturers versus 2-year standard warranty on lead-acid batteries. How quickly you can physically charge the batteries up and discharge them, it's a limitation. You don't really have to oversize batteries as much as what you would lead-acid versus lithium. We've got really wide temperature windows, so minus 15 degrees to 45 degrees is the lithium window, whereas the lead acid, if you go over 30, you can void your warranties potentially. Ease of installation as well. If you look at the physical size here of these banks there, that's to scale. So we're getting close to a tonne of battery in lead acid versus 75 kilograms for the same amount of usable energy and capacity. That actual lead acid bank, that's twice as lead as well. So that's pretty important. We'll just touch on quickly on the grid scale market as well, because this is again a very interesting space. Just on my company, LG Chem, we're actually global leaders in grid scale energy storage. So again, there's a lot of hype out there about certain brands and companies. We've already done 28 times some of these big projects that we're hearing about at the moment. It's just not our brand out there; it's our partners' brands. So we've got very, very big global partners installing these large systems. So predominantly they'll come in containerised solutions. So we can get up to 4.8 megawatt hours in a container, which you'll see on the left-hand side, which people can access. And also we've got unmanned versions. We can get up to 6 megawatt hours or /12 megawatts of physical power you can deliver in a 40-foot container. Again, this is a very technical space. We could go on for quite a long time about features and benefits, but the key benefits and why people are utilising networks or installing these systems would be from a peak shifting point of view. So again, getting the peaks and troughs out of the distribution, from the retailer side of the business. Renewable integration, there's massive solar farms going ahead now, so we're talking about 100 megawatt plants, 400 in Queensland, quite a few large ones going ahead. So obviously the cloud comes over one of these plants, it's really going to interrupt the grid voltage and cause all types of issues. So having batteries in there really stables out levels the basically the network. And then also frequency regulation. So from a generator point of view, we can help out by constantly charging, discharging, discharging to support to maintain that 50 hertz generator output. So we believe the energy revolution is happening now. Key drivers, I guess, is demand. When the price goes up, so the cost of electricity is going up, the demand is going down on the actual network. So they're looking for other solutions. Basically, when the price goes down, so this is other solutions. Solar panels, we've seen them go dramatically down. Lithium prices going down. That's when obviously the demand is going up. So there's a lot of challenges for the networks at the moment and the retailers, but we see big opportunities as well for companies like yourselves to take advantage of actually installing these systems and selling those systems into the markets. Last slide here, I'll just be talking about how quickly things can change in the market. So you may have seen this picture before. It has been presented by quite a few people. But looking on the left-hand side, so back in 1900, spot the car. So this is New York City. There's one vehicle that you can spot there, horse and cart everywhere else. 13 years later, it's spot the horse. So there's vehicles all over New York City now. So transitions can happen very quickly. I think we're just at the start of this new energy transition. So I guess the key question would be, is your business ready for the energy storage revolution and the renewable energy revolution? So thank you. So I'd like to thank everyone.